Before we get started with the show, I'd like to thank our sponsors. Our first sponsor is Atmos Planning, financial planners turning visionaries into meaningful millionaires. Our second sponsor of the day is Planet Duct. Reach out to them for any of your air duct cleaning needs. Now, let's get on with the show. Welcome back to the COS Business Podcast, the #1 podcast in Colorado Springs. My name is Andrew Hasley, and I am the host of the show. Today, I'm sitting here with Miriam Wilson with Colorado Insurance. So can you tell us a little bit about what you do and who you are, I guess?
Yeah, so I am a broker. So what that means is I represent several different companies to shop around for clients to find them the right coverages for the best price. What else about me? Like personal or business?
Business, personal? Where are you from?
I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. You can probably tell from some words that I will say.
Okay.
There's a little accent. I tried to get rid of it.
Oh, the accent part was there?
Yeah, I told you.
Nice. I love it because this show has so many people from all over the world actually on, just because Colorado Springs is Colorado itself is just such a driver of
it's just a hodgepodge
migration
of people from everywhere.
Yeah, so we've had people who had New York accents, Southern accents, French accents. Ooh. Like
you need someone with an Australian accent. I'll watch that one.
I know someone actually when I first came out. I don't know if she's still in the town. I'm gonna reach out to her. I remember her name too. So yeah, I'm gonna have to reach out to her.
Yeah,
and get an Aussie on.
There we go.
I don't know if I've had a British person on yet. I'm trying to remember. I know I've met some British people out here.
Yeah, I've run across at some certain events, and I just want to keep talking to them.
Exactly, because
just read me a story.
I've never ran into a real life British person before I moved to Colorado Springs, which is very interesting. Yeah.
Did you not travel a lot?
I didn't. No,
okay.
no,
That's why.
I didn't. And Kansas City, it actually does bring a lot of people from a lot of different places, but it's not as much as Colorado does because it's Kansas City. And
no. Who wants to go to? No offense.
I know.
Nobody wants to go to Memphis, Tennessee either.
A lot of people do actually.
For what?
For country music people.
Nope, you go to Nashville.
Oh, I mixed those up. Sorry.
Yep.
Yeah, at least you know. You should know. But I'm going to roll the intro music and then we'll get started. Actually, Marcus is going to roll the intro music and then we'll get started.
Okay.
This is a show where we have real conversations with entrepreneurs and business owners who are mostly in Colorado Springs doing things in the community of Colorado Springs. Yeah. So we met over a year ago at Power Connectors, actually.
I know.
Yeah, and then the shutdowns happened and stuff like that. And I think I almost had you on the podcast back then too. I think we talked about it at least.
We talked a little bit about it, but I never did anything further with it. And then by the time I was gonna talk to you again, everything had shut down. So
and the podcast was shut down as well too.
So like you couldn't really do anything.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people started podcasts when the shutdowns happened because of Zooms and stuff like that. But I actually, my podcast was already in person only, and I wasn't about to waver from that. You know, I was like, we're gonna make it in person, so I'm just gonna shut it down for a few months, then we'll bring it back. I almost canceled it, but I didn't. I got excited.
Well, I'm glad you didn't.
Yeah, I actually went full force, full bore.
Good.
And we were doing lots of episodes and upping the quality and getting this space here downtown that you got lost on the way over here.
Don't be ratting me out now. I might or might not be a little directionally challenged.
Exactly. We were talking about it. I was like, it's towards Tennessee. And you're like, don't tell me that.
No, you said east. I'm like, I don't do any of that mess.
And then I said Tennessee. And I was like, I have to say east because I don't know if you're coming from the north or the south. And you don't know either.
No, negative.
The cool part about Colorado Springs, and it's because it's so close to the mountains, I think a lot of people who are directionally challenged, they have that advantage of the mountains.
Right.
Like going towards the mountains, away from the mountains, north of the mountains. Do you
have like this big road map, essentially.
Does that help you out?
Yes, it does. And immensely.
Yes. That's so good. So good. So this insurance stuff, how long have you been doing it?
Oh gosh, so I've been in insurance for about 10 years.
Oh wow.
Went more captive side, and what that means is it's just one company that you work for. And so when you go more broker, you represent several companies. So in all essence, I work for the client, not the company.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Who's the company?
Colorado Insurance.
Okay,
So
okay.
that's where I have my contract with. But all the other insurance companies like Safeco, Nationwide, Travelers, there's about 19. So I'm not going to list them all off, but there's several different ones that I'm appointed with.
So you basically help the client along the way with getting their insurance, and is there more stuff after that?
Yeah, so if anything needs to be changed on their policy, let's say they refinance their home, and so we have to change their mortgage information. They got a new vehicle, so they need to replace one, address change, what have you. They would contact me directly, so they don't have to wait for normal business hours because I'm available Monday through Friday, day, night, weekends, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And they don't.
You're on call for your
right,
clients.
Yes, I'm always available. Well, if they call at midnight, I may not answer, but
Yeah.
I'll call them back the next morning.
Exactly.
But no more calling any 1-800 numbers and waiting on hold for hours.
They can just work straight
call
with you.
Exactly.
And so what do you do when they do call you? What's the mitigation there that you take care of?
So as far as like a new client or a current client?
Current client. We'll go
So
with that.
current client, just trying to figure out what exactly needs to change. Or I had a client the other day, they had a claims issue arise and we ended up going a different route, but they still had me to go to and kind of work through that and figure out, okay, is it smart to file a claim? Is it something that's covered or not? It ended up, they had a washer or a dishwasher installed, and so the installer actually messed something up, so they went after their insurance. So, but they still were able to call me and work through it.
Yeah. And so what got you into the insurance stuff?
Oh, so about 10 years ago, I was actually living in Columbia, Missouri, and I had moved all of my insurance from Tennessee to Columbia. And before I left the office, the agent asked me for my resume. So when, I think it was like 6 months later, they had an opening. He called me and I went in for a couple interviews and got hired. So, yeah.
Okay, so you were doing insurance in Tennessee?
For in Missouri.
Okay, and that's where you actually got started with it.
Right, in Missouri.
And so you contacted them for your own insurance needs, and then they liked you so much they were like, "Can I have a resume?"
Yes.
Okay.
It was pretty awesome. I'm like, absolutely, you can, because I had just moved to Columbia, Missouri, actually. So I still had some in my car. I'm like, I will be right back. Ran to my car, brought in a resume. It was perfect.
Yeah.
It was like meant to be.
and what's the appeal of you hit the mic? Hey, it's a good episode. It's only a good episode if the guest hits the mic.
Oh, okay, good.
So what was the appeal of that, getting into insurance?
Because it was more stable, so it wasn't like a server job where you work nights, weekends. It was more 9 to 5.
Okay.
And you had PTO and benefits to it. So that was more the appeal, and it was at first just customer service. So I just did all of the service. I didn't do any sales. And then once I got more and more involved and got all of my licenses, they heard me talk to some of the customers and pivoting to other things like, hey, actually, do you want more of a sales role? And so we transitioned from customer service to sales.
And sales, it pays better.
Yes, it does, because there's commission to it as well.
Yes, exactly. Sales always just is a typical thing that just pays better.
Oh, yeah.
No matter what business you're in, you know.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. I mean, with my business, me running Vehement Visuals, I'm also in sales because I got to go out and sell my services.
Exactly.
And I actually had to learn sales completely, like studied it hardcore, paid for some courses for sales, just so that I could have a successful business. And because I did that, is the first successful business I ever had. So sales is very important.
Yes. Well, good for you.
Yeah, thank you. And so what was that sales journey like for you? Did they have training for you?
In a way. So they would sit down and just kind of go over, okay, if they say,
They had scripts?
Yeah,
Okay.
they had a little bit of scripts, but they didn't want me to adhere just to the scripts because when you do that, it doesn't sound as authentic.
Exactly,
and
yeah.
if you don't sound authentic or sound like you care, they're not going to buy from you, because sales is really making that person like you and trust you.
Know, like, and trust.
Right, exactly. So if you don't sound like you care about them, why are they going to buy something from you? So I kind of made it my own once I felt more comfortable. So
For sure. And those scripts are kind of more like guidelines
Yes.
than actual, like, stick to the script, you know, kind of things.
right, but it did help me in the beginning.
then
Especially I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah, and you kind of figure out, like, how to answer or how to reply to certain things in a way that helps guide the conversation to helping the client out, but also to closing a deal.
Exactly. Yes.
Which, I mean, that's the whole reason why you're on the phone, you know.
Exactly. So yeah, it was super helpful. I was very appreciative of that.
So was it calls basically, mostly just cold calling, or
They didn't do a lot of cold calls.
Okay.
God bless them.
yeah. I don't like cold calls.
There were leads that they would get eventually, but a lot of it was networking a lot of times, and they would bring in clients, or other clients would refer to us. They would have other mortgage lenders that would send business their way. There was just a bunch of different reasons. And then if people filled out the statefarm.com and sent in a lead, if we got that, then that's them initiating us to call them. So it's not cold calling.
Yeah, exactly. There's a little bit of an initiation.
Right. They started this. So
And I know there's certain websites that will build up lead lists and sell them. Is that kind of what was going on?
no.
Okay. Because they'll be like
There are lead lists. The only bad part is they don't always pan out the best.
for sure. Yeah. Because I mean, it's not the best. The relationship it's not a good way to start a relationship, I think.
Right. Especially you just call them at 9 o'clock in the morning, like, hey, what's going on? You want to talk about insurance?
You
like,
put your email on this website last week, so I'm calling you right now.
exactly. And they're like, why are you calling me?
Yes, exactly.
Like, well,
You
here's
said
the
you wanted
thing.
insurance. Well, I didn't want your insurance.
And so they just didn't pan out a lot of times.
I could see that happening, but I could also see, having big firms, where people are in an office 8 hours a day just doing those kinds of calls.
Oh, yeah.
That's where they make the money.
Well, a lot of times it's a numbers game. So the
It
more
is,
calls you make, the more chances you have to make sales.
Yeah, and that sells all itself is a numbers game, whether it's
Right.
networking, whether it's, I guess, social media networking, advertising, marketing. It's all a numbers game, because contacts, as Grant Cardone says, equals contracts.
Right, exactly.
And I like that saying, just because it rhymes and it sounds cool, but and yeah, so definitely the more contacts you're making, the more contracts you're making, essentially.
Yes.
And yeah, so how's that been for you? How are you filling your pipeline? How are you attaining growth? And yeah, let's start there.
Okay, so whenever things opened back up,
Yeah.
because I started my business last February.
Okay.
So that's been fun.
Yeah.
But once everything opened back up, I definitely went to a lot more networking things, kind of the front range power connectors, a lot of similar things like that. I got involved in a weekly networking group.
Okay.
So
Like a BNI?
It's not a BNI,
Okay.
but it's kind of that same platform, just not a lot of the same rules and regulations. But built a lot of referral partners, so mortgage lenders, realtors, and financial planners are your bread and butter, is what I call it.
As
for
an insurance?
as an insurance person, yes. Mortgage lenders is the top. Realtors need mortgage lenders to close the deal because they can't get them financed and they are not going to make the deal. Mortgage lenders sometimes need insurance people because if that person has a DTI, which is debt to income issue, then one way you can get it down if they can't pay off that debt is bring the insurance down. So I kind of help in that essence is finding something below that mark so that they can get approved for that mortgage lender. So then the realtor can make that deal. So it's like this trifecta thing.
So you work with a lot of people in the real estate industry.
Real estate and mortgage.
Is that your main? You said it's your bread and butter. So yeah, that's
it's
your bread and
my
butter.
main. And sometimes financial planners are as
Okay.
well. I've met a couple good ones who actually talk about their insurance and go, "Oh, this is what you're paying."
So you work with Danielle probably then.
Danielle
McCarthy.
I have not worked with her yet.
Okay.
We know each other. We met, but we haven't really sent each other business.
Okay, yeah, maybe you guys should.
I don't ever talk to anyone about life insurance. I don't do any of that stuff.
Okay, yeah. Well, if she would be a good referral partner because she
Yeah.
does financial planning, and so that's definitely a good connection for you. I think apparently based off of what you're saying, it would be a
She's
good
a
connection.
sweet woman.
Yeah. Just because I mean, maybe she has some insurance people she works with already. I don't know.
I don't know.
But that's how you do it. It's just talk and make connections.
It is. I mean, all all it is because, so I started my business over a year ago. And again, with all the shutdowns and things like that, I didn't have a lot to throw into like marketing. And I wasn't going to buy leads because I already knew in my mind, maybe it works for someone else, that they don't work as well. So I didn't want to just throw money away. And so I tried the whole social media thing and getting my name more out there in that essence. LinkedIn, more like the virtual things. So tried that aspect for a while, and it didn't help grow as much because if people don't see you or know you or trust you, they're not going to send business your way.
Yeah.
So it was a little difficult in that essence.
And there's definitely some strategies for those for
Yes.
LinkedIn and Facebook, and content strategies. There's a strategy I called the Facebook lead gen strategy, and it was basically just adding 25 people a day that. Not just any people, people that were in business, because I'm in business and I do B2B stuff. So I was adding, interesting people, 25 people a day, and who would ever add me, I'd also message 25 people a day after they added me, because if they're not already your friend, then it goes to another inbox where they might not even see it. It goes to like a hidden inbox actually.
That you have to go search for.
Yeah, that you have to go search for. I probably have like a bunch of hidden.
No, I do.
Yeah, it's in there. I probably have like a bunch of people who have cold reached out to me that aren't friends with me that I have not responded to yet. Probably some good opportunities in there too, honestly. But so I would send out 25 messages a day to people who had already added me. But I was also adding 25 people a day too. And so the messages would just be like not sales conversations, just trying to get to know people better, to get them to know, like, and trust you. And so you do that by being real and trying to actually get to know someone, become interested, to become interesting. And so essentially, that would boil down to, say you send out 25 messages, only like 10 of them respond back. And then only like 5 of them actually engage in a conversation. And then the goal is to get at least one of them to engage in a sales conversation. And so if you do that once a day, that's one sales conversation a day. And if one out of every 5 sales conversations you're having ends up in a deal, if you do that 5 days a week, then you're closing a deal once a week. And so that was kind of the strategy behind that.
Ooh, that sounds like a lot. Did you sleep at all? Or did you like...
No, I mean, I was doing my business full time, so this is when I first really dove into it. So that would be part of the grind, waking up. That would take a couple hours, and just making sure I was consistent with doing that. And it actually is crazy because you think, messaging 25 people, it shouldn't take a couple hours. But if you take 25 times 5 minutes each or something like that, that adds up.
Oh, it adds
or
up.
1 minute each. 2 minutes each is an hour, and 50 minutes. But there's the thing about you started 25 conversations. The thing is now people are going to start responding. And so now you got to juggle those people that are responding. So that's where the time comes in too, because if you're doing it right, you're not just sending generic replies. You're actually engaging and listening to what they're saying and trying to be interested in who they are and what they do. And if you're doing that right, then it takes time.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I did not do all of that
Yeah.
with social media.
That's a strategy right there. Clip that, Marcus. Let's clip that.
Right?
Yeah.
Make some money on the side.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the clips of the show are going to be really what grows it, and I'm making it a priority, as important as releasing the episodes, to release 1 clip per episode.
Okay.
So that way it just helps grow, because we're talking about more specific topics when it's just a clip and it's more nailed in and jump. It's just a good way to grow the good. Is it helling again? Oh yeah, I heard the trickle. Good thing we're all in the garage right now.
It's the insurance agent's worst nightmare.
Is it?
Yes, because then you get calls after calls. Well, you remember the July 28th, 2016 hailstorm we had here. I know I do, because I don't remember when I left work that day, because it was nuts.
I remember it only because it's what brought me out here, I'm pretty sure.
Hail?
I was doing construction on the military base where they replace roofs and gutters.
Okay.
So-
then yeah. Okay, so hail did bring you out here.
Yeah, hell did bring me out here. And they call us storm chasers in the industry, the construction industry, where we go to different places that have like hail damage and go there for a few months at a time. And I came here for a few months, and I was like, I'm going to stay.
You're like, man, this is where I am.
Yeah, so that's interesting. You'd think hail would sound like money to you.
No, because it's a lot of juggling those calls. And not that that's a bad thing. It's part of the whole deal.
Yeah. I mean, it's why you're hired, essentially.
Right. That's why they go through me. They can go through anyone that they want. But the fact that I can help them through the whole process, or I have roofers that I know, like, and trust, that I can go, hey, if you don't know anyone, I can send someone out. They'll come look at your roof, give you a free estimate, and then you can decide from there. If there's not any damage, we're not going to file a claim. If there's minimal damage, it may not exceed your deductible, so we may not file a claim. So it just all depends on that person's situation and what exactly happened. 2016 near Stetson Hills area, everyone got new roofs.
Yeah, no, for sure.
New roofs, new gutters, some new siding.
So does that open up opportunities for people to come to you?
Not in a way, because if somebody's insurance company didn't do them right, then I had a gentleman who called me from a different company that he was insured with, and it took them a year to get him a new roof. So he was a little irritated. So
For sure.
he did call to shop around his insurance because he wasn't happy with his current one. But that's kind of rare.
Okay,
So-
I got you. So are roofers good referral partners for you? Or no? Because they have to find an insurance person they usually find someone that already has insurance, huh?
Yeah, so by the time the roofer gets out there, they've already got their insurance. So he's working with their insurance company now. Of course, if it comes up in conversation, hopefully they would be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
call my girl such and such."
And see what I'm thinking is roofers are working even outside of hail season as preventative measures. So maybe they could have you on their Rolodex for when they run into someone who doesn't have insurance, or maybe they don't like their insurance. So before the storm happens, they're talking to lots of people, prospecting, and so they may have a lot of potential leads to go through you specifically, if that's the kind of insurance you provide, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, that's something I could definitely look into. I know I've got a couple roofers that I like both of them. I haven't received any referrals, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Because I want someone that I can send my clients to.
For
So
sure.
if they send me business back, of course, I would love it. But I would rather have someone, no offense, that is not a storm chaser. Because we've had some bad experience with that. with some clients.
I'm a storm chaser. I was one. That's someone who moves from different place. We have lots of local
True.
roofers out here
True,
too.
but that's one of the
actually,
things-
one of them is my friends. He was a storm chaser, and
He stayed as well?
yes,
Okay.
yeah, it's actually Jeff Sprott, a good client of mine.
He's
Red Oak Exteriors.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. He was right there.
yeah. So he's we have a lot of mutual things.
Yeah,
going
I've
on,
run
so-
into him a lot of different events.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking, I don't know if that would be something that would even come up for roofers, if they're recommending insurance frequently or not, so.
No, but it could be something that I help kind of mingle that into their spiel.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I'm sure they have something that they say to all
Yeah.
of their clients and go, if you don't, which hopefully people don't say they don't have insurance.
Yeah. That's an insurance agent's first nightmare.
It really is. Well, not only for that, but the thing is, if you let your insurance lapse and your mortgage company catches wind of it, they will force place insurance for you. And it's usually double or triple than what you're paying. And it's not covering any of your stuff, any of your liability. It's just covering their asset that they have financial responsibility towards.
For sure.
They don't care about your stuff. They don't care about anything else. Just the house.
Yeah.
So it's not the greatest insurance either. So that's why I don't like it. Because
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not good for the client.
No, for sure. Yeah. So what do you think have been some of the things you've done that have helped you out the most through this journey? So you started with Colorado Insurance, but you started in Columbia, but out here you started with Colorado Insurance?
Yeah. So it's been a little over a year since I've been with Colorado Insurance. One word, networking.
Okay.
Networking. So I am a single mom, and so I started this business last year because I really wanted more flexibility to go, oh, my son has a school thing. I don't have to go, hey, boss, can I have this day off? I can go, no, I want this day off.
Yeah.
And I just do it. but I also wanted to better provide for my son as well. That's where I kind of fell into, or I don't know, Colorado insurance just kind of has been a godsend for me. But
that's awesome.
Yeah, they really promoted just getting out there and networking. In a lot of ways, mortgage lenders was your top. And so I spent a lot of time trying to reach out to a bunch of different ones, just going, hey, how can I help you? You know, and so eventually got feedback back. And once you could meet in person, I would say, hey, you want to meet for coffee? And luckily, a lot of them said yes. And I've actually gotten to know them a lot more. There's a couple of them, they've just been amazing for me, you know. And now that I've done right, and they see that I've done right by their customers, they're continually sending me leads.
That's good.
So it's been awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, if you do good work, it builds on it. So
exactly.
That's awesome.
And then now I'm getting more like client referrals too, where I've got, oh, so-and-so send me your contact information. I'm like, oh, that's great.
Yeah,
that's like...
And you build those seeds, like you plant those seeds at the beginning. So much work that goes in at first, and you don't see a lot of return on it at first.
Not at first.
But then those seeds start growing, and you know, even when the seeds start growing, you don't even see the returns. you gotta let them fruit.
Sometimes you have to I have to stop and pay attention. Like, okay, if I think back of where I was and then where I am now, yes, I can see it. So
yeah, you have to actually bigger picture, kind of stand away, step away from it a little bit.
What's that saying? Life is lived forward but understood backwards.
I never heard that before.
Yeah.
Okay, cut that right there. Clip that. All right, so I had a thought. Oh yeah, the coffee meeting thing. So there's lots of strategies that I learned with sales, and there's that Facebook lead thing one, and then there's the coffee meeting strategy as well, which is a networking strategy. In a sense, it's where you try to have deeper conversations, one-on-one conversations with people. And so how did you go about getting these coffee meetings?
There was one that I found on LinkedIn. A couple I actually ran into at other networking things. I'm like, oh, you're in mortgage? I'm like, do you want to sit down and have coffee?
Yeah.
And a lot of times, because I had already seen them and talked to them at that networking event, they already knew me. So they knew it wasn't just some message that just rolled through. Not that that's a bad thing, but they were more apt to say yes to that opposed to someone I just sent a message on LinkedIn. Like, oh, well, what are you selling? You know? So there wasn't always the best response. And
LinkedIn, honestly, it's so spammy. The messages, I don't even read my LinkedIn messages because I'm so bombarded. Because I did that 25 people a day, because I did it for LinkedIn as well, that same Facebook strategy I did on LinkedIn. Because I did that, my LinkedIn blew up. So now I get like 25 people requesting me a day. I don't have to go out and do it. It's not 25 a day. It's more like 5 to 10 a day, which is still crazy. Like my LinkedIn's growing like almost to 2,000 right now just by itself because I did all that work at the beginning. But because I did that work at the beginning, it's also attracted a lot of spammy kind of people. So especially because it's LinkedIn as well, and literally it's business and marketers and
I get so much stuff. I'm like, thank you, but I'm not interested. Thank you. I try to respond because I don't want to just ignore them.
I gave up.
But and I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm sorry. Thank you. I don't know how I can help you. You're in a different state. I don't know how I can help you. Like there's stuff like that comes in.
For sure. And I know you said that mortgage people were like your main target and kind of like the main people you wanted to connect and get meetings with. But when I was first doing coffee meetings, I was meeting with everyone and anyone because everyone has a power base. Everyone knows people. So if you're meeting with that person, you're just making that connection, letting them know what you do, and then really prolifically planting a lot of seeds that probably won't grow to anything, but you're still throwing them out just to get to know as many people as you can. Because I came out here knowing no one, so my goal was to build a power base, which a power base is the people that you already know. A lot of people who get into sales, a lot of people who don't get into MLMs teach this a lot too, actually. To talk to the people who you already know, family members, friends, and all that stuff. Well, I didn't have that when I was out here, so So I just built it myself.
Yeah, no, and it's not that I didn't meet with everyone. That was just more of my focus. But yeah, if anyone sent me a message or someone like, hey, so-and-so said we should connect, because I got a couple different ones of those, is someone would send me a message like, hey, I think you two would hit it off. Here's their contact information if you want to call them. And a lot of times they weren't, realtors, mortgage lenders, financial planners. There was someone else. But again, like you said, maybe they know someone, and that person knows someone, and then it just kind of just trickles.
Exactly, yeah. So outside of those main referral partners, how do you get clients? How do you get clients outside of those referral partners?
Asking for referrals from my current clients. So it is all about referrals from
everyone.
Yeah. So I'll always say, hey, if you know of anyone that can benefit from using my services, I would really appreciate you sending them my information. In fact, if you know of anyone and you want me to go ahead and gather that information, I can reach out to them directly.
Yeah.
And then people just kind of go from there. Some people say yes, and some people say, oh, well, let me think about it. And some people say, yeah. I know a couple different people, actually, or my neighbor needs help, or what have you. You just have to ask. There's a book I read. I don't remember the author, so don't ask. It's called Go for No.
Okay.
If you don't ask, it's always no.
Yeah, go for no.
So
I like it. I'm gonna have to check that book out.
it's a really quick read, and it's interesting, but there's a lot of
sometimes
great
those quick reads are the best because you
got a flight you need to read something on
Well, I mean, by the best, I mean they're just right to the point and they have some gold nuggets in them,
Exactly.
So.
Yeah. So there's been certain things that I've read throughout that have really stuck in my head.
Yeah, for sure.
That really helped.
So who are those ideal people that you would want referrals to? What would they be looking for? What kind of I guess mindset are they in when they need your services?
So anyone that is refinancing their house, it's a great time to look at your insurance again. One, if you can get it down, great. Anyone purchasing a new house, especially first-time home buyers, because they don't know what they're doing. They might, I don't know, but it's rare.
For sure.
And so for someone to have, because I take care of everything. Once they give me the green light, I'm like, okay, I will send everything that your mortgage lender needs. You don't have to take care of nothing. Like, you're out of the picture. Go sit back and relax and, I don't know.
My ties.
And you're right. So I just kind of take that off their plate. And again, I want to make sure that they have the right insurance. Yeah, it's great to save a little money, but I don't like to cut corners doing that.
For sure.
So I try and make sure that they understand, hey, this is why you need this. This is what this means. Just kind of break it down for them because they may not understand. Also, anyone adding a youthful operator, anyone under 25 or someone that's just getting their license, their insurance is about to straight up. So those are the three big ones. Of course, anyone can shop around for their insurance, but those are the main ones that they should, or if you're buying new vehicles, So anything that's going to be changing on your policy, it's good to see if there is a better deal out there or a better deal with more coverage. You just don't know until you look.
Okay, so car insurance is part of what you do. You do the whole anything, any kind of insurance.
So it's all personal. So anything you own personally.
So not business insurance stuff.
I don't.
Okay, so that's more like Brandy and Leo, if you know who they are.
Yeah, I thought they just did Aflac.
No, they actually expanded into their own thing, but Aflac is one of the things they represent.
Oh,
but
shoot, I need to talk to them then.
Yeah, they might be a good partner for you guys because they do focus on the business side. That's the main, the business insurance is what they do.
Okay.
So that could be, I don't know if that's something you work with. That is actually going to lead to my next question. There's, with all the other insurance agencies in town, agents and agencies, how do you look at that competition and what's your approach on that, I guess?
I am of the mindset there's enough business for all of us. So I have actually met other insurance agents that I know I can trust. And if I can't help the client, I go, hey, I know someone that they can typically help my clients when I can't. Do you mind if I just send them all of your information and they can see what they can do? I've already built that rapport and that trust with that client. I've gotten yeses all across the board all the time. And so I send them all the information because they don't have to do anything. I send all the information for them so that agent can look. And it's been really beneficial because they can tell, I'm not keeping you on or taking you on as a client, but I'm still looking out for your best interest. So
okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, and I think that's the right mindset to have is the abundance mindset.
Exactly.
And I'm so glad that when I asked that question, that's typically the kind of response that I get. And,
good.
and yeah, and I don't know if that's just people saving face. I don't know, but because no one wants to be like, yeah, I want to destroy that motherfucker.
I mean, not if you're still recording. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, exactly. No, for sure.
I mean, no, but I mean, you still have your own people or network that you have. I'm not going to send them to every single insurance agent I've ever met.
For sure.
But, I've gotten to know a lot of them, and I really like them, and I trust them, and I like the company. So it just works, because then they do the same thing in return. Hey, I can't help this person. Can you see what you could do? Absolutely, I can. So it works out if you do it that way.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in this town that need insurance. so you probably couldn't even handle every single person if that was the case. If everyone came to you right now, you wouldn't know what to do. You would just start trying to siphon through it, and then you wouldn't even be able to respond to everyone, because it'd just be so much.
No, unless I didn't want to sleep or eat anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, there's that option, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, well, is there anything specifically you'd like to promote today?
Promote what?
Your business, maybe.
Oh, gosh.
Is there any kind of special thing that's going on? Any something that you just are passionate about? Maybe an event, maybe a nonprofit. Just anything. You don't have to, but if
I don't know of anything, but there's because I'm a single mom, so I definitely have a heart for single moms, or any single parent, really. I shouldn't just single out single moms, because there are single dads.
Because it's Father's Day tomorrow.
I know, it is Father's Day. Speaking of, I need to go get my dad something. So I've always wanted to kind of steer in that, figuring out something I could do nonprofit-wise, or individuals that have gone through a divorce and trying to pick themselves back up, because I didn't know what I was doing after my divorce, and starting a business was very scary, but I did it anyway. So, but there's a lot of parents that I have met, they didn't know what to do, just getting things up and going that way. So that's the only thing I can promote, but I don't have anything set up yet, but I do want to.
Okay, sweet. Well, then let's promote you. Where can people find you at?
So people can find me on Facebook, Miriam Wilson, and then it's -Colorado Insurance, or you can email me at mWilson@buykoloradoinsurance.com, and that's BUY, or you can contact me 719-367-8198.
All right, sweet. Well, there is something I would like to promote.
Yes.
The People's Tiny House Festival is next month. My dude Marcus over here runs it, and I figured why not promote it while we can, So what days are it, Marcus? July 17th and 18th. I should know this. I've said it 1,000 times.
My parents have always talked about getting a tiny house.
Loveland, Colorado.
Loveland, Colorado. Yes.
Ranch Events Complex.
Okay.
The Ranch Events Complex in Loveland, Colorado, July 17th and 18th. All day, right?
All day. 10 to 4 both days.
10 to 4. Okay. Okay, yeah.
Is there a fee?
$10 to get in, but kids 12 and under are free.
Okay, let me actually repeat that too. It's $10 to get in, and kids 12 and under are free. That is the way it is. And it's the People's Tiny House Festival. Is it just fest or festival? Festival. And there's like a bunch of builders out there who build tiny houses. There's a bunch of vendors out there. Jack's axe throwing is going to be out there, so you can get your axe throwing on.
Yeah.
We'll be out there too.
Hey, what's that?
Podcast will be out
Oh yeah, and the podcast is going to be out there. We're going to be live on
good.
stage. It's going to be the first live audience, first like big audience. We've had like a 1-person audience in here before. I don't know. Is it? What's the singular for audience? Is it audient? We had one audient.
Audience member.
Okay, audience member.
An audience member.
Yeah.
Can it be an audience if it's not more than one?
Yeah, I guess. See, this is why we need you on the Googles over there,
I
dude.
mean, can we get out our Merriam's dictionary?
Oh.
See what I did there?
So yeah, there's a lot of things going on. It's a really awesome festival, and you guys should go check it out and get your tickets on Facebook today if you want, or Eventbrite, wherever you like it. But yeah, I figured I'd throw that out there.
Cool.
Yeah. And yeah, I guess we could wrap this up. Is there anything else you'd like to let the people know?
Not really.
Okay.
Call me even if they just want me to look over their policies. I've done that for a couple people before, where he's got like 8 different policies, and I looked through everything and pointed out, hey, you're missing this endorsement. So even if they want me to look over their current insurance and aren't interested in a quote, I don't mind doing that either.
Okay, sweet. Okay, well, it's been great having you on the show. Finally, good
exciting.
to have you on.
Finally, over a year now.
Yeah. Well, all right. This has been the COS Business Podcast, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Yeah. Take the headphones off.
Oh my God.
They squeeze my head and they make my ears swell. I don't know.
My hair is probably flat. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, it was a good one.
Oh, really? Holy shit, that's quick. I'm going to move this.